giving more facts about the Hebrew Israel. I actually didn't get to watch the 12 Gates of Israel from the channel here on YouTube last evening like I was intending to do. I got in a conversation with a relative and it lasted for hours. So, but I know the Ten Commandments and I know it well. I live it, so I'm not really worried. But I did want to watch it, so of course I'm gonna go and watch the playback. But I did look for it. I had put a notification on so I would be able to, remember. But I remember it was supposed to be at 9 o'clock, unless it's tonight. But I thought it was yesterday night that it was supposed to air. But like I said, I did not get the notification that I had signed up for. So I didn't watch it, but it doesn't matter. Like I said, if you look in the book of Exodus, you'll see the laws of the Ten Commandment. You know, I have them highlighted. You can go through. Matter of fact, let me grab it right quick. I have my glasses on, so I might not be able to read it too much. Ugh, let me get my glasses right quick. I hope you all doing good and are blessed. And I just wanted to rectify that I was talking about Esau and Jacob, which is Jacob in the Bible. But I had tinged it with the story of Cain and Abel, which were other siblings prior. They were the ancestors of Esau and Jacob. So if you heard my very first video, I believe it was my very first video that I was first giving facts about Hebrew Israelites. Um, I wanted to clarify that I had jumbled my stories together because of the what I was talking about and what I was asked about got mixed in like that. It got crisscrossed like applesauce. Ricky Ricks, good morning. Wow, Ricky Ricks, I ain't seen you since the shop. I ain't seen you since I was managing a salon. Hope all is well. And so I want to tell y'all real quickly where to find it. Just in case if you were looking for it, you can go into the book of Exodus. And you can go to Exodus, the 19th chapter, read it through the 20th chapter. It's highly, highly. I don't have my glasses on. I'm steadily trying to. Haven't caught you in a while. Yeah, every time I hop on, you just getting off the stream. Oh, yeah, I've been keeping it kind of brief, because I'm on the GO. I'm on the go. I got so much stuff going on right now with me. So if you want to get the meat and potatoes, go to Exodus the 20th chapter. And it's repeated throughout. It's repeated throughout. But if you want to see it, that's one of the areas that you can see the Ten Commandments. I keep telling everybody, if you want to see it, that's one of the places. How have you been? I have been good. I hope you're doing good too. I'm doing good. I'm not at the I don't manage that salon anymore. And I will not go into as to why, but I don't manage that salon anymore. I resigned from that role, and I am working my company basically. Have my own company, but I have to tune in more to my own brand right now because I keep working for everybody else, and a lot of people don't want to give me my buku. They don't want to give me my money. So anyway, I just wanted to let y'all know if you are looking for the Ten Commandments, if you want to see it for yourself, you can find it in the book of Exodus. Movements of Yah people, as Bob Marley was often sing about. And if you wanted to hear about the story that I was telling y'all about how the Hebrew Israelites, they thought Moses wasn't coming down from the mountain, you know, but they might be in control of your destiny. Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially nowadays where everyone's trying to puppetize people. Everybody wants you to move like them. They want you to act like them. They want you to do everything. And it's just a corrupt world we living in, and it's crazy. Like, eh, negative. I'm not into doing what everybody else do. I'm into doing what's right for me. But like I was saying, I had jumbled up two stories. Um, Cain and Abel, which were the first set of brothers that was spoken of in the Bible, where Cain slaved his brother Abel. Again, you know, it was over jealousy. But when I was speaking of Esau and Jacob, Esau was the red or lighter child, and Jacob, who is often called Jacob, is the more darker child. And um, Rebecca loved Jacob more. She favored him more, and his dad favored Esau more, which parents shouldn't do favoritism, but that's Jacob. Yes, I'm saying Jacob, but Jacob is the name he was called in, modern time. Jacob is his real name. And Big Hey Jacob, I don't know. I don't know that one. But so anyway, he was turned into he got his brother's birthright because as his dad was becoming older, in tradition for Hebrew Israelites, you inherit what your father has. Usually a parent will leave you riches, inheritance. In those days, it wasn't all about money and stuff. It was about land, it was about rulership, it was about um, sheep, oxen, things like that, because that was your inheritance, things of that nature. And so as he was getting older, the mom Rebecca, she wanted her son to inherit Esau's inheritance. And so she told him to go in and basically infiltrate being his brother Esau, which that's the reason why modern day descendants of Esau are, they're very mad because they're like, you use trickery to get where you are now versus actually inheriting it. But once a Hebrew dictates who's going to receive the inheritance, that's what it is. Because these were descendants from the Most High God. They weren't just average people. Like you got sons of man and you have sons of God. So sons of God, people who are actually God's children sent by God to be on earth, they have definitely different powers, so to say, as people would probably call it in modern day powers, but it's really blessings from God directly. They're sent from God directly. They are ordained by God directly. They get blessed by God directly to do certain things. So that is, I wanted to clarify, because if y'all was listening and if you know the scriptures, nobody even stopped me to say, wait. So that's how I know whoever was listening, either they didn't know or they were just like, wait, I don't know what's going on, but I knew it when I was saying it that the stories were getting mixed up. But I wanted to clarify that there are two sets of brothers, that in that story I mixed up the stories, and I wanted to clarify that. And as you know, Yaqub is the one who fought with the angel of God and was later named Israel, the father of the children of Israelites. And we all know that his brothers and them, they're mad and they tricked him and put him in the ditch and left him there. And then he became a ruler in a strange land. And then when they needed him, he was like, I'm still going to help them even though they did me dirty, because it's my family. And he made sure they was good. But anyway, I just wanted to clarify that. I want to also tell y'all about women, Hebrew women. When they're on their cycle, they're not allowed to pray to the Most High God because they're considered unclean. That is a power that their husband has to have. If they don't have a husband at that time to pray on their behalf, they just have to have hopefully pray prior to and wait. Once you are serving God, you know who you are, you know what you're supposed to be doing. It's a lot of laws that you have to live by. and that is one of them. Hebrew women, if they are on their menses, as it's called, they're not allowed to engage in intimacy with their husband, and they're not allowed to pray to the Most High God during that time. That time they're extremely vulnerable. They're not allowed to pray because they're considered unclean. Also, when it comes to death, people who go to funerals or burials, you have, I believe it's 7 days. I don't remember the specific number, but there's a set amount of days you're not allowed to really pray to the Most High. You're considered unclean. It's a lot of things that we do that as Hebrew Israelites, we have times of cleansing. And on Holy Sabbath, that's the purest time of the week. You get a little rest in, get a lot of time to talk with God, to pray, to basically reset yourself. Because throughout the week, you go through so much, especially in this world. We dealing with people that are so corrupt. Their mindsets are corrupt. Their intentions are corrupt. They're workers of iniquities. They're the sinners of this world. They're the people that they want you to sin like them. They want you to be wicked like them. They don't want you to have no happiness. They don't want you to have no peace in your life. They don't want you to have no normality. And so you have to remember that factor. Hebrew Israelites are dedicated to living for God. Dedicated. No matter who likes it, no matter who dislikes it. Like there is no reason a Hebrew Israelite, you know, should have to do anything outside of the scope of what God requires them. But that's the reason the Messiah came in the flesh. And if you want to learn about when the Messiah was first realized in his adulthood by humans, you read the book of the Saint John. John was actually created by God as well to come on the earth as a dissuasion, and he was tentatively baptizing people by water. And the Pharisees, which consisted of Levites who were no longer considered the children of Israel due to them committing to homosexuality, and others others that did not, they believed, but they did not believe because they had not seen God's face. They had never seen God, and they were just like in disbelief, like, yeah, whatever. We keep hearing about this Messiah, this Esaias, who's this Elias is gonna, because they call them very different names. They call Christ many different names. They were like, we keep hearing about him about to come, but like, where is he at? Who? And so when John was ordained to come on earth to do physical baptisms, because the real baptism is the Messiah in Redemption Day during Armageddon. That's the real baptism. But he was doing a symbolic baptism because God had ordained him to do that. And so it was confusing people on earth. But that was the purpose. The purpose was to confuse them. So that way, once they announced, or he, John the Baptist, was going to be able to see, and he was told by the Most High God that you would see him, you would see his radiance, you will know that it's him. He was able to see him in the flesh. And once that happened, everything just happened Godspeed. Like, everybody began to flock to the Messiah, once they realized, yo, he's really here. It's really him. And he kept telling people, I got things to show you. And if you continue through the New Testament, you get to hear about some of the things that the Messiah did prior to being, publicly killed in front of his family, in front of his human family and his human loved ones. Got to see and hear the story of what happened. Remember, St. Mark and St. Luke, they pretty much repeated the same story. They were followers of the Messiah, so they were able to get their books written in the Holy Book as a testimony of what had happened. Let me see, hold up. I'm gonna go soon because I got invited to an alternate study, which is not the way of the Hebrew Israelite, but if God lets me go there, I'm gonna go there because there's people who need to be redeemed. There's people who looking for God, and they might be in the wrong places. And we're going to get them out of those places. We're going to get all of our Hebrew Israelites out of, the dumb, deaf, and blindedness. We're going to get all the Hebrew Israelites redeemed, and they're going to come to the truth, the way, the truth, the life. They're going to know the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so they could be set free from this human bondage, and their spirits can be free again. Um, where is it? It's gonna be online. You wanna watch it? You wanna watch it? Now they're not Hebrew Israelites where I'm getting going to watch. They're not Hebrew Israelites. So if invite you to it, I'm going there to do my work of the Most High God. I'm going to redeem some people. I'm going to look for some people whose spirits belong with the Hebrew Israelites. They need to be awakened. They're seeking God, but they're in the wrong places. But they are seeking God, and I don't want to discount them. But there's a station on here called AI Bible Stories. If I'm not mistaken, there's a channel on here called AI, like artificial intelligence, Bible Stories, and it's a young black guy who has curated many stories of the Bible. He's translated it into layman terms. In other words, it's not in the King James translation with the thee and the thou and the seeth and all of, it's very plain English for people who just can't really grasp the these, the thous, and it's translated pretty well. I won't say it's 100%. I don't like translations because translations can easily be misconstrued. Oh, that's wonderful. You have to have Zoom. If you have Zoom, I can send you the link to it, and you can watch it. You can watch it. But if you go to AI Bible Stories, it's a channel here on YouTube. It's a young black guy who has decided to use his technical skills to to transfer stories from the Bible into visualizations using artificial intelligence. He's not using real people. He's using artificial intelligence technology to um, tell the story from a Hebraic point of view. And it's really interesting. Like I said, I watch it because I'm, of course, looking to make sure it's not anything too far off from the truth. And for the most part, it's pretty legitimate. Um, it's very plain though. If you're studying to keep yourself on the right path, you have to, of course, study to show thyself approved. You got to pick up your own Bible. You got to read it from the beginning to the end, learn the stories of the Bible, not so much so you can repeat it to people. You thought about that when I was younger, but people said it was a bad idea. Oh, yeah, people will always try to, keep you from the truth, because there's so many people who they really don't believe in God, unfortunately. They don't really know about God. They might have heard about God, everything, but they probably don't want you knowing about God because it's only a small select. We got billions and trillions of human life that have been even there's people alive we don't even know they're alive because we have so many islands, we have so many different lands that people are entrapped on, like they've been literally brought there, and they're not in no United States census or no other foreign territory census. Like, it's mad people on earth, mad people on earth, but only a small select amount of people on earth are going to be redeemed. All the rest are going to hell. They're counted as wicked. So I'm just trying to tell people, like, even if you even if you don't understand what's going on in today's society, you can't really figure it out. One thing we can constantly say is this world is not getting better. It's getting worse. Everything that we see, everything we're experiencing is getting worse, and the only people that really get a glimpse of happiness are people who are getting puppetized. They're being puppetized. They're being forced to be someone that they're not, live a life that is not their own. but they're willing to do it just so they could be like, oh, good, I have a good life, stuff like that. Um, so y'all have to be careful. I gotta get going, but you know, think about yourself. Don't be selfish, but think about yourself. Think about how I was going to break down Bible stories into nigga terminology. A text is too hard for the youth to understand, so it's harder to reach them. And absolutely, let me tell you something, Ricky. Do that. Follow your true intention, because that could be your calling from God. Let me tell you something. Moses, who was he was one of the first that was called to do God's work. He was not the most intelligent at all. His brother Aaron, or Aaron as he is called, his brother Aaron was more intelligent. But Moses was able to go out and lead the children of Israel out of bondage. They were slaves in Egypt and Egypt. And so, yeah, do that. Translate the scriptures. Help these young people know, because a lot of young people, you got to understand, the young people that are becoming adults today, that are teenagers today, that are small kids today, a lot of their parents are hooked on fentanyl. They're hooked on opioids. They are part of um, they are part of a community that doesn't serve God, as far as abominations. People that, a lot of these kids, they're stuck in foster homes. They're stuck in abusive homes. They're stuck in bad situations. They don't even know that there's a chance for them to be redeemed of this wickedness on earth. And so, yeah, and even our people in the hood, they just they going through it the worst, right? We know our people in the hood going through it the worst. They got to be on food stamps. They got to be on public housing. They got to be cooped up while all the other nations get to have a whole house with land around it, multiple cars. And I'm not saying this to create like some type of a colorist thing, because it's not about color for me, but it's just the truth. Our people in the hood are are terribly deprived, but they're deprived because they're not seeking the Most High God. The ones who seek the Most High God can come up out of it, even if they go back for whatever reason. So yeah, I I, I encourage you, even if you do it little by little, help the young people, help them, because this is the time. This is the time. Like everybody, I mean, every religion on earth is even trying to reach out to people, because even though some of these religions are false religions, they're just taken from the Hebrew Israelite way. A lot of these religions, these people, they know that this is the time. They already know that we're in those days where people really need to know the truth. They really need to be awakened. So don't hinder your calling. That might just be, and I don't like when people say your calling and stuff, because that's kind of sounds like I'm a church person. But you just got to do what you know is right. If you know that talking about God is the right thing to do, by all means do it. My church said it was essentially blasphemy to turn a Bible story into a hood story. Blasphemy is speaking falsehood. Blasphemy is not translation. So your church more than likely just doesn't want you to help people. They probably want you to bring those people just to the church. But when you interpret a story, like for instance, the Holy Bible is a translation. I was going to change the names of the people and places. Instead of Matthew and Timothy, I would be a man and T Rock. I see what you're saying. You want to interpret it. Well, I can't tentatively tell you yay or nay, but I could tell you that it's better that you keep the story as close to the story as possible. Only because blasphemy is not, I mean, come on now. You watch Marvel, you see the movies of Marvel, a lot of those are from the Bible. The stories in Marvel comic movies that are out, um, there a lot of those are derived of the Bible. Many movies that we see, they take excerpts of the Bible, and then they curate it so that way people can kind of get a gist of the Bible. So that way, if you are watching the Bible, reading it, but what I will say is try your best to keep it as close to the way that it is written, because King James was actually a homosexual king, but he wanted to translate the Bible because he wanted to have power and dominion over the Hebrew Israelites. I see you wasn't going to change the story, just the name to make it easier to follow. Like I said, many people do that, to be honest. People write books all the time, and you know what they do? They rewrite the Bible, but they just, I'm not able to tell you yay or nay because God judges. I don't. You know what I'm saying? But blasphemy is speaking lies, speaking falsehood. So if you are telling a truthful story, even if you use that as your disclaimer, these are Bibles of the story that I have decided to, you know what I'm saying? That is what would make it not blasphemy, because you're coming with the truth. You're letting people know this is a Bible story. Complete lies. You're lying. You're fabricating. You know what I'm saying? Be safe. Um, my advice as wisdom is to stick to it as closely as possible. And, if you believe that you're doing the right thing, I say do it. I even studied the United States map and tried to line it up with the Middle East region to give context and with distances between cities. Yeah, you're doing a great thing. Because you know what? If you watch the AI Bible stories, the young man who interpreted, he changed it. Everything he says, it's not word for word from the Bible. He made his own rendition of it so that way he could get the story out there to help people get a better picture of it. So like I said, I'm not here to tell you if you're right or wrong. I'm just want to tell you that your intention, God knows your heart. God knows that inside you want to help people learn about God and really grasp it. So if your intentions are good, I say you need to go for it. Pray to God first and let God lead you. Y'all, I gotta get going because the event that I'm supposed to be visiting has begun. So I'm about to go and check it out. And hopefully I'll come back and get to spend time with you all. Y'all be safe. And I had one like, but somebody took it down. So it's okay. I'm not doing this for likes and loves. I hope y'all have a safe and blessed day. Talk to you soon.